A teacher doesn't show up for class. Her principal goes to check on her and walks into a crime scene. Today, the story of Christy Mirack. This is Deviant. It's late December of 1992 and Christy Mirack is 25 years old. She lives in East Lampeter Township in Lancaster County. It's that area of southeastern Pennsylvania that's famous for its Amish community, but that's not Christy. She teaches 6th grade and loves being a teacher. It's what she always wanted. In every picture, she shows a big, bright smile. Her hair is dirty blonde and shoulder length with a turned-in bob. She has those signature early 90s feathered bangs. In the early morning of December 21st, Christy and her roommate are getting ready for work. The roommate heads out around 7 a.m. On most days, Christy usually leaves around 7:30, but this isn't most days, and Christy never makes it to her job at Roarston Elementary School. The principal there is named Harry Goodman, and he's getting worried. This isn't like Christy. He calls her apartment several times and no one answers. Principal Goodman is really worried now, so he finds Christy's address in the school files, gets in his car, and drives over to her apartment. When he gets there, he sees her car parked outside. It's a typical winter morning in East Lampeter, and the windows are iced over. The car clearly hasn't been touched today. He walks to her apartment door and it's open. Not just unlocked, open to the cold. Goodman walks in and it's then that he sees her. She's laying on the living room floor, dressed in her coat and gloves. She's dead. Goodman calls the police. When they arrive, they see signs of a violent struggle and the beginning of an investigation that will tax the limits of police work. After police arrive, they immediately begin securing the scene. They examine Christy's body and the area around her. It's clear from the jump that this is a homicide. She's been beaten, sexually assaulted, and strangled. Not far from her head is a wooden cutting board, and authorities, they say that the attacker used this as a weapon. The struggle that happened is evident by the scuff marks left on the carpet. So between that and the fact that she's wearing her coat and gloves, it's pretty clear that she's attacked as she's getting ready to leave for the day. Neighbors report hearing screams between 7:10 and 7:20 that morning. These appear to be the final 20 minutes of Christy's life. Now that there's a logical working theory about what happened to Christy, they turn to figuring out who attacked and killed her. There's plenty of evidence to help them get a good jump on that too. Male DNA is found on her body and from the carpet under her body. It's sent off to the lab to get a profile worked up and to see if it matches anyone in the DNA database. Meanwhile, police begin interviewing those who are closest to her and all known associates. That includes the man who found her body, Principal Harry Goodman. Everyone police talk to, though, is cleared. And then the DNA report comes back. The result? Nothing. The DNA police collect doesn't match anyone in Christy's circle. It doesn't match anyone in the state database. It doesn't match anyone in the federal database. A crime scene that initially looks like a truckload of physical and forensic evidence only leads to a cold trail. Homicide police now have a whodunit on their hands, and so far, luck hasn't broken their way. But that has to change, right? And eventually, it does. But not in the time or the way that those detectives in 1992 could have guessed. Investigators continue to work Christy Mirack's homicide, but not much progress is made. Days turn into weeks, into months, into years. The 1990s turn into the 2000s, but police never give up. They keep reviewing Christy's file. They keep taking fresh looks at the evidence. They keep going over the interviews and the tips, but nothing pops. Police can't find a motive or make any connections to any suspects. The biggest hope for a break continues to come from the DNA. But over the years and decades, the state and national databases expand rapidly. And as those databases grow, the chance of a match should grow with them. Even with that, though, still no hits. It's all very frustrating, but Christy's family never gives up hope that this can be solved. In 2007, her brother Vince rents a big billboard on the side of the road. It asks for any information that can help. That information doesn't come. And then, in 2015, the case gets a new spotlight and new attention. Lancaster County District Attorney Craig Stedman takes over the case, working with multiple agencies, including Lancaster County law enforcement. Stedman's office starts fresh and rebuilds the case from the ground up. In 2015, there's science and technology available that just wasn't around in the 90s and 2000s. Police immediately start going down these new roads, and one of those roads leads to a company that can do a very interesting thing with DNA. They can use it to recreate the face of the person that DNA belongs to. In this case, investigators are hoping that it can show them the face of a killer. Parabon NanoLabs is the company that does this work. And in March of 2017, Lancaster County sends a sample of the crime scene DNA to their labs. They're hoping this can lead to the break they've been searching for since 1992. The results they're promising. Parabon sends back what they call a snapshot, which estimates a lot of things about the person attached to the suspected attacker's DNA. That includes his likely ancestry, his eye color, his hair color, his skin tone, what his face could look like at different ages. For a homicide investigator, this is good stuff. Composite images of their suspect are made, and in November of 2017, they're released to the public. It shows a white male with light skin, brown hair, and brown or maybe hazel eyes. Tips come in, but police don't make any matches. It looks like another dead end. But science can move fast. In 2018, Parabon NanoLabs begins a new service, genetic genealogy using public databases. Usually this is used for innocent reasons. I want to know all about my ancestry, so I send in my DNA sample, get back a report, and maybe I know a lot more about where I come from. But law enforcement is starting to use it too to close cases. This is the technology that ends up catching the Golden State Killer. So police ask Parabon NanoLabs to try this technique on their crime scene DNA. You may know the name CC Moore. She's kind of famous out there in the true crime world. She's the Parabon genealogist who handles this particular job. CC looks for matches in public DNA databases and finds a few distant relatives. This is the thread that she needs. From there, CC constructs a family tree. She works from generation to generation, and she's able to trace one of those tree branches to an area of Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. She continues to narrow the choices down until she reaches just one man. He lives in the Lancaster area, and police very much want to get their hands on some of his DNA. Be sure to subscribe to this channel and set alerts so you won't miss part 2 of this story or any of the stories that we tell.